Welcome back to Wretched. Courtesy of the technological advancements of our cell phones, we have the world at our thumb tips. But does it come at a cost of robbing you of joy? Have you examined your soul lately to ask, how's it doing? Am I flourishing, or am I a little bit, Maybe, just maybe, there is a connection between technological advancements, having the world at our thumb tips, and the joy that we are supposed to have, because God is a God of joy, and He wants us to have joy and not feel the weight of the world. An article from Stand to Reason, very helpful, asking this question: could it be that technology has produced a faux omniscience, an omnipresence that is hurting you and not helping you? Two words that typically are ascribed to God: omniscience and omnipresence. Those are attributes that God alone possesses, and yet, because of our cell phones or our laptops or your desktop, you and I get thrown into a faux omniscient, omnipresent world, a world you and I were never intended to inhabit. More from STR. Up until the last fraction of human existence, we've only had to carry events that directly affect us and our families and local communities. Remember the days of local news only? You knew what was happening in your zip code, and that was pretty much it. And that perhaps was enough. Why? Because you and I are not omniscient. We were never intended to be omnipresent, and yet our technological devices throw us into a world you and I were never intended to inhabit. More pondering. Constant carnage is funneled through our eyes and embedded into our souls. Bad news, terror, murder, violence, economies crashing, scheming, conniving, corruption. Bang, bang, bang. You are barraged with bad news, as if you can do something about it, and as if you can handle it. And the Bible tells us we can't. Why? We're not built to be omniscient. How's your soul? In a matter of minutes, we've watched multiple evil events. It is absolutely overwhelming. Yep, you take it, you get it. The feed, it keeps feeding, and the bad news, it keeps coming, and imperceptibly, perhaps, it is robbing you of joy. No, I'm not trying to get all goopy, and no, I'm not suggesting that we become people who live underneath a rock, but I am simply asking you to take a moment to consider, hey, am I as happy as I should be? Do I have joy? Do I wake up and walk on the sunny side of the street? Or is it possible the overwhelming bad news that consumes your world, that infiltrates every crack and crevice, is robbing you of joy? Stand to Reason writes, God, who is omnipresent, can handle all that evil, pain, and tragedy. He's capable. He has the bandwidth to not become overwhelmed. We don't have that capacity. And we would be wise to just take a moment, saint, and consider, yikes, have I been taking on the cares of the world? And is it possible there's a connection to the omniscience that I'm being forced to consume, which I don't have the bandwidth to handle? Is hurting me emotionally? I'm just asking, because there is a better way. There is a way to experience what is happening in the world, the knowledge that I need to know, and yet perhaps limiting my omnipresence, my consumption of every single event that is happening in every single bad church around the globe, every terroristic activity that's happening in zip codes that are far-flung, and yet having stable emotions. You are not meant to be omnipresent and omniscient. Because we see things in high definition, we think we understand the entire story based on a snippet of information. We are not omniscient. Nevertheless, you and I enter the fray, don't we? After all, I saw the videotape. It was really clear. Somebody even held their phone the right way. I know everything there is to know. And enter the fray. We are quick to jump in, perhaps to territory we just don't belong. Charles Spurgeon, give or take 160 years ago, writing to his seminary students, this has to do with the pastoral realm, and yet this simply undergirds the point that Stand to Reason is trying to make. Consider these words from the Prince of Preachers. Many servants of God are made to feel their weakness in another way, by an oppressive sense of responsibility. Do not take an exaggerated view of what the Lord expects of you. Spurgeon, writing to pastors, be careful, there's a ditch. This was long before technology gave us the world at our thumb tips. This was an era that we would consider so pedestrian. And yet Charles Spurgeon, to his pastoral students, says, careful, you're not meant to bear every single burden. You are not intended to carry everyone's cares and concerns. One more quote from the Prince of Preachers. He will not blame you for not doing that which is beyond your mental power or physical strength. We are not the Father, nor the Savior, nor the Comforter of the church. Charles Spurgeon's conclusion, his warning, his admonition to his students, you can't know and do everything. And if that was true 150 years ago, it is more true today. Dear Christian, how is your soul? Do you have joy? Do you have peace? Do you have patience? Do you have kindness? If it is lacking, or if it is feeling like your tank is running out, perhaps it is time to consider, how is my soul in light of this technology that God has graciously provided? Hello, Maria. This is Todd Friel from your auto insurance company, noticing you're not taking advantage of any of our life insurance policies. Really? Oh, really? You're not afraid to die? That's funny. Listen to this clip from Paul Washer.
I'm talking about you.
So what do you think of that, Maria?